Get started. I will now call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order on July 12th, 2022. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knudsen.
Here.
Gross.
Here.
Wynn.
Present.
Jones.
Here.
Goodrich.
Here.
All council members are present, as is the mayor, the city clerk, the city attorney, the city administrator, and other staff members in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Moved by Wynn, seconded by Jones. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Now on to item number 4, community comments. This is the time for community members to speak to us about items that aren't on the agenda or items that are on the agenda but are not subject to a public hearing. Each speaker has 5 minutes, and we do reserve the right to adjust both the comment time and the individual speaking time based on the number of speakers or any accommodations that a speaker might need. Is there anyone in the audience that I'm not seeing? Okay, we will move on to item number 5. We have a public hearing for the 9th Street Pavement Repair Project. This project will place an asphalt overlay on 9th Street between 21st Avenue and 20th Avenue. And the bids for this project are due on July 19th, 2022. I will now open the public hearing. Are there any written comments?
There are no written.
All right, I will now close the public hearing and we will consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the plan, specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract for the 9th Street Pavement Repair 2022, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Knudsen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Any questions or comments on this item?
Like we said 2 weeks ago, greatly needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Street's pretty beat up.
Yes, yeah.
Glad we can do that.
Yep. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Knudsen.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 6 is another public hearing for an Iowa River Landing retail lease. This is for DeFaw Corporation, doing business as Catch Boutique. They wish to enter into a 3-year license agreement for 920 East 2nd Avenue, Suite 160 in the Iowa River Landing District. And alternate proposals were due at 10 o'clock a.m. on June 13th, 2022. So I will now open the public hearing. Are there any written comments on this item?
No written.
All right. I'll now close the public hearing and we can consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the license agreement with DeFaw Corporation, DBA Catch Boutique, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Any questions or comments or discussion on this item?
They will be going into the space currently occupied by Active Endeavors right across the street from Von Maur Department Store. Active Endeavors is actively constructing their new space next to 30 Hop. They'll relocate in late August, and the new business Catch Boutique will move into that the space of Active Endeavors by September 1st.
All right. Thank you for that overview. Any other questions, comments on this item?
That's a tight timetable.
Yes, it is. But they are moving quickly ahead, so it should work.
Yeah. Great.
All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Wynn.
Aye.
Jones. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Knudsen.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 7, precinct changes. This is the third and final reading for an ordinance that would expand the number of voting precincts from the recently approved 8 to 9 as a result of Coralville's population growth and the state requesting these changes. Could I have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance 2022-1005, an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Coralville Code of Ordinances 2011 as previously amended, establishing 8 voting precincts in the city of Coralville, Iowa, was introduced now for a third and final consideration by Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Jones. Any final comments or discussion on this item? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jones. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its third and final consideration, all ayes. Item number 8, Lot 7, Coral Ridge Commerce Park, Phase 7. This would be a rezoning to a commercial planned unit development 2 district and will allow for an 8,974 square foot restaurant and retail building and a 4,770 square foot bakery restaurant. This would be the second consideration of this ordinance. Could we have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 2022-1006, an ordinance amending the Coralville zoning ordinance, the same being ordinance number 2020-1009, as previously amended, rezoning certain property located within the corporate limits of the city of Coralville, Johnson County, Iowa, and generally known as Lot 7, Coral Ridge Commerce Park, Phase 7, from C2 Arterial Commercial District, CPUD2 Commercial Planned Unit Development 2 District, introduced for second consideration by Councilmember Jones, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Nguyen. Any other questions or discussion on this ordinance? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson. Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones. Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes. Item number 9, Pedestrian Safety Ordinance. This ordinance repeals sections 4114 and 12212 of the Coralville Code of Ordinances and deletes and replaces section 67.3 as requested by the Iowa Civil Liberties Union. This ordinance will prohibit pedestrians from standing in medians less than 10 feet wide in areas with a speed limit of at least 30 miles per hour, and also in businesses and school districts. Pedestrians will also have to use crosswalks to cross streets with a 30 mile per hour or higher speed limit. Could we have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 2022-1007, an ordinance amending the Coralville Code of Ordinances 2011 as previously amended regarding pedestrian safeties, introduced for second consideration by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Any questions or comments on this one? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes. Item number 10, street name change. This item is for changing the name of a street. The developer wants to rename Leone Circle in Auburn Ridge to Amy Lynn Circle in memory of Amy Lynn Pretorius. Could we have the resolution, please?
Resolution changing the name of the street known as Leon Circle to Amy Lynn Circle, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Knutson, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Questions or comments on this item? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 11, I would consider a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Mayor, I would ask council to consider motion to approve the consent calendar as presented. A to double D.
All right, moved by Nguyen, seconded by Knutson. Could I have the roll call?
Can I ask
please?
one quick question, please?
Sure,
before
you
we vote?
bet.
So just for my knowledge, we're approving a liquor license for the Marriott. Are they still in operation? or-
Yeah, it should be the Hyatt.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
Good
That is-
catch.
Good catch, yes. Excellent.
You should have seen him at library board minutes.
Yeah.
Be ready, Thor. You got to be on your A game with Keith.
Yeah.
Knudsen did.
Okay, so would that be an amendment?
Yeah,
then?
so we just approve it as amended?
Okay, so do we need to do another motion?
No.
Okay,
Well,
all right. So roll call for the consent calendar as amended.
thank you. Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knudsen.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
The amended consent calendar is approved, all ayes. Item number 12, City Administrator's Report.
Yes, first of all, we just continue to remember John Williams and his family. When I think of John, I think that his middle name should have been Service, because that was his real personality, and his trait was that he wanted to and did provide excellent service to our residents. And would like to thank the many emergency response departments from around the state and some outside the state that paid honor to John at his funeral, and then especially the Johnson County departments that really went over and beyond helping our department continue to provide service in the community and honoring John and for his service. So just remember John. Also just like to thank the Fourth Fest Committee and all the volunteers that work on that. There was many great activities. I've received several comments about the fireworks and that people thought they were better. Every year it seems like we get comments that they're better than the year before. And they had a lot of the department out there because of the rain, and they were a little bit behind, and so they had a lot more people involved in the fireworks, but they were excellent. And appreciate all the work that they do and all of the rest of the committee. Just to remind everybody that we have the joint meeting we'll be hosting here on Monday evening in the council chamber at 4:30 on Monday. And that's it, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. Mayor's report, just wanted to also thank everyone who participated in the Fourth Fest events, everyone who helped make it a success. It was certainly disappointing to have to cancel the parade, but at the end of the day, we have to put safety first. And I think all the other activities that we had went off really, really well. It's just always fun to get out and celebrate that with the community. And, echoing the Kelly's sentiments about the loss of Sergeant John Williams. And, we actually had two tragic losses in the community. Obviously, the loss of Sergeant Williams, and we also lost a precious 3-year-old boy, Damari Sanders. And, it's been really difficult, obviously a difficult time in the community with so much grief and so much loss, and we're mourning alongside the friends and families of everyone who knew and loved these two individuals. John was a fixture in our police department, and I want to just send lots of love to his colleagues, the men and women of the Coralville Police Department. I know how much he meant to all of you. I mean, he was a leader, he was a mentor, and he was a friend that served this community with honor and integrity. And I've heard from so many community members who have reached out to me to share stories about how he helped them and how he made a difference in their lives. I also just want to say thank you to all of the community members who are wrapping these families and these grieving loved ones in all of the healing strength and care. These losses are so tragic. But I will say it has been beautiful to see the way the community is caring for all of these friends, family members, and people who loved these two individuals. And I would ask that you would continue to do so, continue to be if you are a praying person, continue to pray for these families, continue to care for them, to continue to support them in the coming weeks and months ahead. We're all thinking about them. And then the last thing I wanted to say was just a thank you to all of the departments from around the county who helped out over the weekend, and also a thank you to our fire department. I know that they were doing a lot of work as well on top of the Fourth Fest activities. So I appreciate all of you. And that is all I have. City Attorney's report.
I have nothing additional.
Yeah, I just want to obviously echo what, I met John when I was a young pup starting this job, not knowing what the heck I was doing. And John used to write a lot of traffic tickets, so I used to go to court a lot with John when I first started, and I wasn't, we'll tell it this way, I wasn't that great at it. But he was always patient with me and was giving me advice on how to do things. And back then, there were a lot of veteran police officers who were very intimidating to me, at least when I first started. And I will always appreciate that he was always a nice person, even he gave me attorney jokes and everything like that. But he was always helpful to me, and he would always bandy back questions with me. And I will miss walking by the desk in the sergeant room, seeing John there, calling me Mr. Attorney as I walked by, and asked me how my day was. So I guess that's all I have to say then.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Goodrich.
I would echo that Sergeant John Williams has left a wonderful legacy both with the police department and in his family. And I just think our police chief, Shane Crone, was part of the eulogies for John and did such a wonderful job. And I just appreciate the whole police department and the family there that is so honoring of their fallen hero, and also they will continue on in his legacy. I wanted to mention that the Extreme Arena and Fieldhouse have some great things going on. At the Fieldhouse, you can do pickleball, basketball, wrestling, volleyball, so check that out. At the arena, the year is coming together with hockey and wrestling, and Polo G is going to be there September 9th. And The Price is Right Live, which took me a while to realize the show, The Price is Right, is going to be there October 28th. And so we can start getting our costumes ready and get your tickets. Thank you.
I did not know that about The Price is Right. It's very exciting. All right, Councilmember Jones.
Well, it's hard to top the comments that have been made, but it seems appropriate to have one story about Sergeant Williams that sort of touched me. My daughter Kate started her administrative school career at Kirkwood Elementary as assistant principal. And as you know, assistant principals sort of deal with the discipline issues. And her favorite person was Sergeant Williams. And she said when he showed up, it just always made her day, and she knew things were going to be handled properly. So she was very saddened by John's passing, as we all were. But I just wanted to take a second to share that story.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Huynh.
I have nothing to add tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gross.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I full on agree with Kate. Being in that position across the yard for 2 years at Northwest. And as I was thinking about what to say tonight, I came across a quote by Brian Stevenson, the author of Just Mercy. And he wrote, "We don't need police officers who see themselves as warriors. We need police officers who see themselves as guardians and parts of the community. You can't police a community that you're not a part of." And John was so part of the community, because same thing, when I had to make a call to the police, which no one ever likes to do, especially when it's dealing with kids, I always hoped John would be one of the ones that would arrive, because he was so kind and so compassionate with children and with kids. And the other story that I think about which is kind of funny. We had a young man, seventh grader, elope, and he had some mental health issues, and he ended up in the police station. He left Northwest and ended up in the police station, lodged himself in the elevator over here. And John was the only one that could get him out, that could coax him out. Everyone else tried our best, and we were unable to do that. So I will miss him, and our community will miss him, and I'm so sorry for his wife Kim and their 4 children and 6 grandchildren, and I'm also deeply grief-stricken for our fellow police officers and our firefighters and our EMS. I think it's one of the professions that, unless you actually do it, you don't get it, and a lot of people think they know it, and unless you live with one of those people, you don't get it. So I think the bond between those folks is very strong, as was evident the past week. And I had a little bit what you said too, Mayor, and as tragic as Sergeant Williams' passing was, and then you think about, we lost a 3-year-old boy to just absolutely senseless violence and access to guns and the whole works, and to have had, I've been on this council since 2007, and this is probably one of the most tragic weeks in my tenure for sure. And then to contrast that, with the celebration of Fourth Fest and everything else, it was a very surreal week. But as we do think about and reflect and memorialize Sergeant Williams, I also hope that we do the same with Damari Sanders, because that life also was cut way, way too short. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Councilmember Knutson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Sergeant Williams. Knew it was a tragic event, but appreciate everybody's words, and now really appreciate that, and really I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, on that note, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Quinn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.